I was practically born in the turf house, brought up there for the first 10 years of my life. So what was the main difference between the modern living conditions and then the turf house or lot of vernacular architecture is that it is organic not only in building material but also the layout of the house is organic. There is no master plan, so you add to the house so it becomes a big cluster of houses. So you move within the turf house. It's a different experience altogether, not only because of the material but also because of how the house is connected. And then also the inside and outside, the inside of the house and the outside of the house somehow merge in architecture like the turf house. So that is main difference.
How it merges?
Because these houses are some of them are not, most of them are not heated, so the same temperature is inside and out, and then some of them are slightly wet, even slightly leaking, so you get the kind of a moisture and the elements interacting directly into the house. And then and also you live in proximity to domestic animals. You have the cows and often the horses as well, sometimes even the sheep, and then dogs and cats, and then insects and microbes, as you probably noticed in some of the presentations, are also part of the household. So that is accepted part of the household. So that is a main difference. And then on top of that, within the turf house, people live together almost without any privacy. There was no private room, and even you had to share your bed often. So you live in it's a communal living. You live in groups, and then it's extended family. So there are many generations. It's the kids and the parents and the grandparents and even relatives. So it's that type of living that is as part of as compared to the modern lifestyle. This is it's completely different, where you live in secluded and often in isolation. You are modernism is about privacy, independence and ownership, but the old lifestyle is about more or less about sharing both, and often out of necessity. You are sharing the space, you are sharing the resources, and you have somehow sharing even resources with not only other people but also with animals. Because there is no heat traditionally there was no heat in any of the houses. The main source of heat in all the houses except the kitchen. The kitchen was always most often in a separate house where we would cook on open fire. But the main living room and all the other rooms are just heated with body heat. You have a group of people, 10, 15, 20 people, and they heat up the house with their body. That's how it is. In some places they have the animals underneath the floor, and so you got extra heat from the animals. So that was the only source of heat in Iceland in houses for 600-800 years. They had these fire pits and the old the Viking halls generated some heat, but then it developed in Iceland that the fire was moved out to the main living room into a separate house for cooking, and so all the houses were just heated with the body heat, either from animals or humans.
I wonder, how do you deal with the darkness?
Well, you adapt to that. You change. You hibernate, and in one way or another you change the kind of a speed or the phase of your and activity partly. You become, but it's some you adapt to that. But it can't be denied that Iceland is extreme in many ways in terms of weather. Not only is it wet, windy and wet, windy and cold, but also it has these extremes in light and darkness. In the summer there's hardly any night, but in the winter time, starting middle of October till middle of middle of February, it's almost dark all day. So on top of the weather you have also the extremities of light and darkness, so on top of everything. So it is one of the most difficult places to live in the world, Iceland.